On August 12, 2026, the man running India's biggest business empire, bigger than most companies, almost like a mini economy, sat down and wrote a letter, and in that letter, he quit.
He says, and I quote, "I have completed 40 years of professional life at the Tata Group. I am grateful for the immensely satisfying opportunity to contribute to this venerable institution. Leading Tata Sons over the past decade has been a great honor and a profound responsibility." He goes on to say, "My current tenure as the chairman of Tata Sons comes to an end on Feb 20, 2027. Sir Dorabji Tata Trust and Sir Ratan Tata Trust had unanimously resolved and recommended the extension of my next term for a period of 5 years, which was recorded and recommended by the Tata Sons Nomination and Remuneration Committee and the board. Subsequently, the resolution was tabled in the Tata Sons board on Feb 24, 2026. However, the proposal was not carried through because one of the board members did not support it. And in the absence of unanimous support, I chose to defer the decision."
Within a day, Tata Group lost close to 26,800 crore in market value, not because of a scandal, not because of a scam, because one person on a board said no, and nobody could agree on what to do about it for 6 months. This is the story of how M. Chandrasekaran, arguably the most powerful executive in Indian business, walked away from the top job at Tata Sons, and what it tells us about how power actually works inside India's biggest company. Quick context, in case the name is new to you, Chandrasekaran, everyone calls him Chandra, joined Tata as a young engineer way back in 1987. He spent decades climbing up inside TCS, Tata software arm, eventually running it and turning it into one of the most valuable IT companies in the world. Then, in 2017, after the massive and very public ouster of the previous chairman, Cyrus Mistry.
That's the final boot for Cyrus Mistry out of the entire Tata fold. Very clearly in this EGM, the resolution has been passed. We'll try and get more details on whether or not the decision was unanimous or was there opposition to this entire move. Cyrus Mistry has been removed from all Tata companies. The shareholders have removed Cyrus Mistry.
Tata picked Chandra to take over the entire Tata group, not just TCS, but everything. Steel, cars, airlines, salt, hotels, chips. Genuinely, salt to software is the phrase people use for Tata, because that's how wide this empire actually is. For almost a decade, Chandra was the person deciding where hundreds of billions of dollars of Tata money went. So, when someone at that level resigns, that's not a normal HR story. That's closer to a prime minister stepping down mid-term. Here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't a sudden decision. In September 2025, everything looked settled. The Tata Trust, the charitable organizations that actually own the majority stake in Tata Sons, unanimously recommended giving Chandra another 5 years. The board's own committee agreed. Everyone signed off because it matters for the whole story. Tata Sons is the company that controls all the other Tata companies, TCS, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, all of it. But Tata Sons itself a majority owned by the Tata Trust, a set of charitable trusts. So whoever controls the trust effectively has the final say over who runs the entire Tata empire. Think of it like this. Tata Sons is the steering wheel of the car, but the trust owns the car. So everyone had agreed. Chandra was getting 5 more years until the actual board meeting on February 24, 2026, where the resolution needed one thing: unanimous support, and one single board member refused to back it. That one person, according to multiple reports, was Noel Tata, chairman of the Tata Trust, and once he said no, the decision couldn't move forward. Not rejected outright, just frozen for 6 months. So why would head of the trust block a reappointment everyone else had already approved? According to reporting, Noel Tata's concerns came down to 3 things. First, the numbers in the financial year ending March 2026. Tata Sons consolidated net profit fell 35% Second, specific businesses were bleeding money. Air India, Tata Digital, and Tata Electronics all posted significant losses. Third, there was a disagreement over whether Tata Sons should ever go public, list on the stock market, versus staying a private, trust-controlled company the way it's always been. Noel Tata reportedly wanted a clear turnaround plan for the loss-making businesses and firm assurance that Tata Sons would remain private before agreeing to another 5 years for Chandra. Here's the simplest way to think about this. Imagine you run a family restaurant. You have been given the keys for years and you have been opening new branches aggressively. Some doing great, some losing money badly. When it's time to renew your contract, one family member says, "Before I sign off on 5 more years, I want to know how we are going to fix the branches that are losing money." That's essentially what happened here, just at a scale of hundreds of billions of dollars. There is another layer worth knowing. Reports also point to a separate brewing conflict among the trustees who run Tata Trust itself, plus regulatory pressure from Maharashtra's Charity Commissioner tied to an old, decades-long back dispute over a share transfer from 1989. In plain terms, even before this specific disagreement, there was tension simmering inside the ownership structure of Tata itself. Chandra's reappointment fight became the moment all of that pressure surfaced publicly. And there's a historical echo here that Indian business journalists keep pointing to. This is happening almost exactly 10 years after Cyrus Mistry, Chandra's own predecessor, was removed from same chair in a similarly sudden boardroom-driven way. Different circumstances, very different tone this time. Chandra resigned on his own terms rather than being pushed out publicly. But the underlying pattern is familiar. At Tata, ultimate power sits with the trust, not with whoever's sitting in the chairman's office. The market reacted fast. Tata Group stocks lost roughly 26,800 crore in value within a day of the news, with TCS shares, Chandra's old company, dropping close to 5%. But the bigger question is about the future. Under Chandra, Tata made some of its largest, most ambitious capital bets ever, including India's first major semiconductor manufacturing plant and a push to become a serious supplier for Apple's iPhone production. Those are exactly the kind of multi-year, multi-billion-dollar projects that need stable, consistent leadership to see through. With Chandra confirmed to step down once his term ends in February 2027 and no successor named yet, all of that now carries a question mark. Someone new will inherit Chandra's boldest bets without necessarily sharing his appetite for them. Here's what I think this story actually teaches us. Chandra didn't lose his job to a scandal, a competitor, or a failed product. He lost it to something much quieter, a disagreement over risk, over how much to spend chasing big, ambitious bets versus fixing what's already losing money. And it's a reminder that even at the very top of India's biggest business house, one person's no can outweigh everyone else's yes. If the ownership structure gives that power, the real story here isn't really about Chandra. It's about who actually controls Tata. And that answer hasn't changed in over 100 years. It was never really the chairman. It was always the trust. Hope this story adds value to your journey as much as researching it did to mine. If it did, hit the like and let YouTube professor know. Don't forget to subscribe to stay ahead of the curve. Thanks for your time today. I will see you in the next one.